Johnno, how you going, brother?
Hey, good. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Another episode of the Parra Pit. It is Team List Tuesday, and we've both had a quick squiz at the team list, and looks pretty good.
Breathing a sigh of relief, mate. I am.
Yeah, I know. It's bad, isn't it? All right. Well, I suppose we should talk about the game. I mean, quickly. We won't go too far into it. I mean, we've had a fair bit of a discussion about it already. Thoughts on the game?
I wasn't overly impressed.
No.
Brad Arthur coming out saying, we've got a mentality and an identity to defend.
Yeah.
And then leaking 28 points and just a try. It looked like a video game.
It really did, didn't it? Yeah, it was like a video game, and both teams had fully loaded their attack at the expense of their defense. They're just no, we're just going to go out swinging, So it was let's just completely forget about defense. I mean, we've got to talk about Jake Arthur on the bench. Now, I don't want to start sledging the kid. He's just a young kid, and it wasn't his fault. He got thrown into the team. He did the best that he could do. He's not ready yet. He's not ready to play halfback for Parramatta yet. He needs a couple more years at New South Wales. And the problem with Sean getting injured is everyone just slid out of position all of a sudden. You take Dillbags out of the attacking formation, throw him into centre. Wonga on the wing, which I was calling for last week. He did the one big dive and tried to do the slam dunk and seemed to have no idea what he was doing, but he's getting another shot at it this week. I like that maneuver, but I don't like what happened last week. I don't like that Jake Arthur has been thrown under the bus by Parramatta fans. He's a young kid, and he is going to be a great player, but he's just not ready for it. And I don't think BA did him any favors by throwing him in the way that he did.
No, you're right. It wasn't Jakey's fault either. I was curious to see how had no one got injured, had there been no injuries, what Brad's plan for him was.
Very good point.
Because what happened to him was not Brad's plan.
No.
He wasn't supposed to be on the field 20 or so, whatever minutes into the game.
No.
Playing halfback. Dylan Brown was not supposed to be playing centre.
No.
Because as soon as Dylan was out in the centre, that was it. Our attack was dead.
So agreed. So after 33 minutes, I think it was, we had scored 5 tries. We had leaked a lot of points as well. However, after that, we didn't score another try, and that was when Sean went off injured. So what happened at that 33-minute point prevented us from scoring any more tries, and that was what we said. Dillbags getting pulled out of pivot, he was thrown into centres. It did stop the leakage of points having Dillbags out there. He's very good defensively. Wonga on the wing, but the big problem was you get Jake, the only position he can play is halfback. So Mitch was even thrown back to pivot. I got the impression that Jake was playing halfback, and then you've got Mitch coming in playing 5'8". Everything just got fucked around. It was absolute disaster, and I did not like it at all. And I don't know what the plan was. What was the plan? Was the plan to do that? Was the plan to bring Jakey on at the 60-minute mark and say you're halfback and just reshuffle the whole team? Was that the plan?
This is why I was calling for Bryce Cartwright.
Yeah.
Bryce Cartwright can play second row, and then you just push Wonga out, and you don't have to get rid of a half.
Yeah.
Dylan stays as a 5'8", and Mitch Moses stays at halfback.
Yeah,
Jake is literally a halfback, and that's all he knows how to do, and that's all Brad put him out there to do.
Halfback is such a specialist position. Now, Jakey needs to be in New South Wales Cup week in, week out, honing his skills. And he's going to be a great player. You can see that he's got the ability. He just needs a couple of years, don't you? I think he's getting rushed through a bit. And I think BA is doing him a disservice by throwing him under the bus. And I don't want the Parramatta fans to jump on, start swinging at Jake, because he's out there doing the best he can as a young fella. It's not, it screams of nepotism. You do kind of see that. It's he's only there because of his dad, but it's he's earned his spot. Let's not blame the kid we're going to have to blame BA because he shouldn't have been there. He should not have been number 17 on the bench. I mean, we were lucky to get away with that game. Very lucky. So
incredibly lucky. Yeah, you can't blame Jakey. I mean, but the problem is, all he knows how to play is halfback.
Yes.
And he's not a first grade ready halfback.
Exactly. Either. So why put him on the bench? Why put him on the bench?
The ball moves along the line. Fluid. Then it gets to Jake, clunky, slow. Doesn't know what he's doing.
Yes.
Like every move, every wide move along the line got to Jake, and then it stalled for about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Which was enough time for the Titans' edge rushes to crush up. And that's why we didn't score any more points.
And I think also the Titans, yes, I think also the Titans having Will Smith, who's very familiar with our playbook, you got to consider that as well. He would have been sitting down going over our plays with the Titans, and so they seem to know exactly where we were going. So
you could see it in his body language, you could see it in his defense, you could see it in his attack.
Yeah.
He knew exactly where to target us.
He really did.
Every time he was probing a hole against us, he knew who he was going for.
Yeah.
He knew which hole to run at because he knows our strengths, he knows our weaknesses.
100%.
And he could see how confident he was.
Yeah.
His first game for his new clubs against his old club, he's like, follow me, I'll show you a thing or two.
Yeah.
And that contributed to the 28 points they scored against us. Maybe it did because he had a field day. Yeah. He had an absolute field day.
Yeah, he had a great game. Yeah, he had a few mistakes here and there, as he always does, but he got a lot of points in Supercoach, I believe. So he had a great game. How'd you go in Supercoach? I mean, we're both in the same comp together. I think we all died. No, it wasn't in mine either. But it didn't make much difference, all the people in my team. I had Sean Russell in my team, so he was traveling along nicely. Let's quickly touch on that. Sean Russell, 3 tries. He was playing brilliantly. They weren't gimmies either. He did have to work for them. One of them might have been Mitch Moses, bullet pass, brilliant passing. We had that combination, was beautiful off to the left. The knees to the back. He's got broken ribs. He's got punctured lung, and it wasn't even an 8-point try. I mean, I don't know how that works. I mean, Dillbags does that against the Roosters last year, and all of us, the shit hit the fan, and it was like, we got to change the rules, and all of a sudden people were getting sent off for just that was all because of the Dillbags' knees to the back, and I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, yeah, how come no one's blowing up in the media about it the way they blew up in the media about it when Dylan did it? Is it because it was against the Eels? It wasn't an Eels player doing it to someone else?
Spoken like a true Eel.
I think it should be outright illegal to make contact with the knees to a player's back.
Yeah, and Campbell's got that in his game. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that photo you put up in our chat, he did it, 3 separate times?
So he did it against Lane, he did it against Sean, one of his other tries, and obviously the bad one. So there were 3 damning photos of him leading with the knees. It's not a dirty play. I'm not suggesting that at all, but you can't, it's first grade. You can't be doing that. And look what's happened. Sean's ruled out now. Yeah. So
I think there needs to be a discussion about maybe making knees to the back outright illegal. In the way knees to the head were outright illegal, or boots to the head when Billy Slater used to do it.
Yeah.
I think you can't risk it anymore. A punctured lung is terrible.
Could have killed him. Yeah, I mean,
kill him.
Yeah, I mean, he was in a lot of pain, and he's ruled out. We don't know how long he's out for as well. And we're a bit slim on wingers at the moment. I suppose we should now have a look at Team List Tuesday and see who's taken his position. We both know who's taken his position. Where is the list? So at fullback, of course, Gutho is there. Gutho had a shocker, by the way, didn't he? He was really off his game.
Appalling game. Yeah, he had that really trial game, and we both said, he seemed like he was just going through the motions, and then he gets to when it matters, and appalling. And on top of the fact that Philip Sammy decided to do a Gutherino over the top of him. And
what are your thoughts on that? Do you reckon that's good fun, or do you reckon that's disrespectful?
I hope that lights a fire under him. At the time, I felt disrespected.
At the time, I thought it was disrespectful, but that was the equalising try, so I was pretty angry. So that was kind of like if it was like the first or second try and they were still, points behind, then whatever. But I think Gutho originally posted it on Twitter. I think he retweeted it and was having a bit of a laugh, but I think he said he's looking forward to seeing him in the next round. So
he said he's got it circled on his calendar. It's only 4 weeks away, and it does my head in while we're playing the same team within 5 weeks.
I hate that. I really hate that.
That's so dumb.
I hate playing the same team when you haven't played every team. And so close. It really is just you bust your ass to beat a team. And then it's like, okay, you've got to do it again. It's like, do we have the same strategy? What do you do different? They're going to come at us different. It's just silly, So anyway, we'll move on. But Gutho, he will lift. I've never seen him have this slow start before, but
yes, I don't know if it's concerning. I mean, maybe he needs it. Maybe he just needs a fire lit under him. Hopefully, the Philip Sammy incident is the fire he needs.
Yeah, it could be either one. Number 2, filling in for Sean Russell is Wanga Blake. Now, I called for it. In the preseason. I wanted Wanga on that wing. And then Sean started playing really, really well in the trials, and it was like, you can't deny him. He's a specialty winger. Why would you, But now that we've been forced, I am glad that BA has taken this direction. Wanga Blake on the wing. I think he's such a strong runner. He doesn't like passing the balls, perfect winger, and he's normally a good finisher. He did fuck up a bit on the weekend, but with that one bouncing, I think he tried to do the spectacular dive. Maybe now he's going to be winger, so maybe he'll practice it a bit. Thoughts on Wanga? Thoughts on Wanga in the wing?
Well, don't fuck it up again. Hopefully he's got plenty of shit at training for trying to be more ass than class.
Yeah. He tried to be a little bit flamboyant.
Hopefully Bailey Simonson is like, look, this is how you do it. Make sure you have 2 hands on the ball.
Yeah.
2 hands for beginners winger. Powerful winger. Good under the high ball. Doesn't like passing the ball.
He's fast. He's magnificent runner. I like it. I like that he's thrown him there. I'd rather him than the other options. I guess Solomon was the other option. I don't know.
He's not ready.
He's not ready.
He's very not ready for first grade.
No.
And Wanga's powerful too. I think he could
he's a live wire. Yeah.
Be good as well. He's stocky and he's powerful. So I think defensively that'll help him out.
I'm predicting a big game from Wanga this week. I'm predicting a big game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Will Penasini, another quiet game. He was very quiet as well. But once again, youngster thrown into the team. You got to let him get his bearings, get his feet. He's had a couple of spectacular games last year. So let's just let him catch his feet. So,
6th NRL game, he's still a kid,
Got a bit to learn, but no dramas there. So number 4 is Tom Opacek, who scored 4 tries for New South Wales Cup on the weekend. Hayes Perham did apparently put them on a platter for him. I didn't see them. But like I said, Tom gets dropped from the team. He can go one of 2 ways. He can have a big sook and say, I've lost my position in the team, woe is me. Or you can go out there and kick ass. And that's what he's done. He's gone out, scored 4 tries, and now he's back in the team. I love it. I love seeing that. I love seeing people get dropped and then have a great game and then come back into first grade.
He bought the fire. He bought the fire on the weekend for the Cup boys, and his reward is, hey, there's a slot open and you're going to walk straight in. So I don't know what sort of impact he'll have against the first grade Cronulla side, but, at least his confidence will be up. He's not coming in cold. He's, and he's experienced. He's already a very experienced.
I think he's solid. So, and on the number 5 on the other side of the wing, Bailey Simonson didn't have a good opening game for Parramatta. Once again, we'll let him find his feet. the problem in the defensive reads, I'm not prepared to 100% blame him because they were supposed to be sliding, and he was looking back inside as if to say, what the hell are we doing? Why? Like, he seemed to be confused. It wasn't like he was out of position. I think what was happening is we were worried about David Fafita. So I think we were fully loading the left side, and then by the time they come over to the right side, we were found short. So
every time David Fafita touched the ball, there were 3 tacklers on him, and that close to the line, you're not going to stop him one-on-one. So
exactly.
Bailey probably had every right.
Yeah.
But just the way that we weren't sliding was concerning.
It wasn't good. Like Bailey and Will together didn't seem to be working. But first game, hopefully they'll go off and work on that. Once again, I'm not 100% sure what the problem is. Because it was a massive overlap. It wasn't a one-on-one read that he was missing out on. It was him versus 3. It was like a 2-man overlap every time. And it was like, what's he supposed to do? You know, if he stays on his man, then they just score on the inside of him. He's got to slide in with them. So I thought he did well coming in off the wing to hit the ball up, doing what he's supposed to be doing. So no major concerns as yet. I think he'll come good in a couple of weeks. Well, I think the defense is going to come good. We're going to be working on that this week to get the sliding defense.
We're such a great sliding team as well. Like the way we slid in defense last year was brilliant.
Yeah,
we were probably one of the best in the competition at sliding defense and scrambling goal line defense. And it's the first game. We got away with the win. That's great, but at least we have a focal point at training this week.
Yeah,
our attack is fine. We scored 32 points. That's great. Let's fix the part where we conceded 28.
Yeah, we didn't concede. I think we only conceded 1 try since Dillbags went out to the centres. But anyway, we'll see how we go. So number 6 is Dylan. 7, Mitchell, of course. Mitchell had a great game. I thought Mitchell was brilliant.
He really did. And he was looking to get his running game going at the end of the game.
He was.
When he was shuffled to pivot. It didn't quite work. He had a few poked his nose through a couple of times, but
he's really fit, really
Dylan
strong.
Back, with Dylan back beside him, mate, he'll get his confidence back, and he'll probably look to exploit some slow an Andrew Fafita or a Braden Henry this week.
Yeah, Andrew, I don't know what's going on with him, but no knees apparently. Apparently he's got cartilage. Apparently he's got bone on bone at the moment. So
that's not fun.
No, it's not good. Number 8, I think close to man of the match, Regan Campbell Gillard. He was strong. He was really, really strong. And I thought he had you can't ask for any more from him for game 1.
Wasn't he just? He was a meter eater. He was cutting him half in defense. I think he outperformed Junior as the as our front row rotation. I think he was far and away the best forward. Yeah,
100%.
Really impressive. I really enjoyed watching his game.
Yeah, 100%. Really good, 100%. So number 9, we got Reed. I thought Reed had a brilliant game. I think he switched off a little bit in the second half. He got the 40-20.
How good was that 40-20? That was brilliant.
It was magic. And
almost had 2. He almost had 2.
He did too. Yeah.
So, and his kicking game is phenomenal. Like, how good is his kicking game at the moment?
So I think
he really does play like an extra half.
He does. He really does. I think with Mick Innes there for him, he's just going to go to a next level, and it's just going to hurt more and more as the season progresses that he's not going to be there for next year. So,
leave us with a parting gift of a premiership trophy, mate.
Then you will be forgiven. Number 10 is Junior Paulo. I thought Junior, he had a couple of bad mistakes. He played the ball. So he had to play the ball infringement where he just rolled the ball between his legs. The thing that worried me was he did it again in the second half and he wasn't pinged for it. The referee either saw it and just went, I'm not going to be pedantic about this. But he definitely did it again. So if they're going to start cracking down on it, he's going to have a look. But I thought he had an okay game, but with RCG having such a brilliant game, he just outshone Junior a bit. So
I think Junior was the defensive focal point for the Titans as well. I think they very much pressured him and very much made him the go-to man, which probably freed RCG up to make a few more meters. And I don't think Junior had an offload. Did he have an offload? I mean, with the game in the balance, he was certainly trying for an offload, but I didn't see one. I think the Titans very much made a point of wrapping Junior up, wrapping the ball up, not getting any second phase play out of him.
Yeah, I didn't notice. It's a valid point, but I'd have to watch the game again to know, or look at some stats to find out. Interesting point. Number 11, Sean Lane. I think he had a good game. I think he played well.
He had a solid game. He appeased my worries about him being the starting second rower, but
I think he had some good meters. I think he and he was having some offloads. I might be getting confused with his preseason game, because the preseason games he was scoring tries and everything, but he scored a try, didn't he? He scored a try, and that's right. Yeah, he got it on the line. It looked like it was held up. He just kind of wriggled it around. So he did score a try, and he got meters. What else can you ask from him? So
he was hitting the hole with some vigor as well, which is good. He was because a lot of the stages last year he'd hit the gap at almost a jog.
Yeah.
He at least was hitting it with some velocity this time.
I'm happy with Sean. Happy with Sean at the moment. 12, the Iceman, Isaiah Papali'i. Quiet game. Thought he had a very quiet game.
He was contained. I think he was contained very well.
Good point.
That defense, but
they might have been targeting him, trying to keep him quiet, and they succeeded.
Yeah, it made me chuckle actually. You see his super coach price now. He's like the most expensive second rower. So, I don't know if that factors into a team's mentality when you come up against a guy, but knowing what a powerhouse he was last year.
I think he got 30 odd points in Supercoach. I don't think he got many. So anyone who owned him, including myself, not too happy. But once again with Supercoach, it was a weird round with all the fullbacks not doing well. Tommy Turbo didn't do well, and everyone thought it was hilarious. And then all of a sudden, Teddy didn't have a good game with the Roosters, losing. So Paps did all right. He played pretty well. So
yeah, but only all right. And then Guther had a shocker as well. So
yeah,
it was not the hoodoo was out for the fullbacks this week.
It really was. Yeah, it really was.
And my tipping.
Yeah, everyone's tipping was off as well. So I think you're good with that. So 13 this week, Ryan Madison is injured. He's out of the team this week. So Oregon Kafusi will be locking the scrum. I like it. Oregon had a strong game. I think he only played 30 minutes, but it was 30 strong minutes. What thoughts at lock?
Yeah, Oregon's probably the best bet at lock. Maddo's gone until round 4 with a hamstring injury.
Nathan Brown, you don't think throw him back in to 13? He's happy to.
He's in back in. He's in back in. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I agree. I think he'll do well there. All right, on to the second page. 14 is Macca. Another quiet game. I don't think he had a very good game at all. I think he, don't know. Thoughts on him?
Yeah, he was contained as well, but he was running at some big boys, Tino and Fafita, and they got some big lads on that Titans team. He
good
looked
point.
Almost small running against them. So,
they got some big units.
Live and learn. He's still fresh to first grade. It's tough for a prop to hold his own.
Yeah.
If he's slightly smaller than his opposite man, unless he's younger and faster. But what is he, like 28?
28. So that was last year. So 29 this year, and I think he played about 30 minutes, and I don't think he didn't. His stats weren't that fantastic, but as you said, what he was up against. We'll keep an eye on him. He's back in the team. He's at 14. 15. Who's at 15, Johnno? Have you got the list there, mate? Can you see who's at 15? It's your man. It's your man. Brycey Cartwright. Yeah, you were calling for him last week to be put in, so he is in the team. Why wasn't he in the team? Why wasn't he in the team last week? It does my head in, like, because he's such a great utility. I don't want to go down that road. I really don't. But man, it screams of nepotism. But anyway,
it doesn't scream of nepotism because Brad was willing to drop Jake this week.
100%, and I agree with that. Now, if he had thrown Jakey in again,
I'm throwing things at walls.
Yeah, because he doesn't fill any positions, and once you come back to why was he in the team, unless he thought that Mitchell was undercooked or Mitch was carrying an injury, and that's what we kind of said. We said there must be something wrong with Mitch, because why else would you carry another halfback on your bench that can't play any other position? So anyway, we've gone to talk to with blue in the face about this, but so Bryce is in the team, which is brilliant. It's a great maneuver, and he's very versatile, and he's the man that you want on the field. I just hope he gets enough minutes. I hope that he gets 30 minutes. He seems to only play Bryce for 15, 20, so we'll see. So Bryce is at 15. 16, we have Ray Stone, Ray, who was good in offense as well on the weekend. So I thought he came on and his post meters, his post contact meters were really good. He was really driving with the legs. Defensively, just snapping people left, right, and center. He's great bench player.
That's the player you want on your side, and he was offensively. He was brilliant. And he came on probably after I think Junior left the field, and we sort of lost a little bit of impact when Junior and Reg was off. But then Ray was like, when he had the ball, he was making up for it again.
Yeah.
I think he had a very solid game off the bench. I want to see him week in, week out, coming off the bench and being that impact player because he's brilliant.
Yep, he's at that spot, and I want him there. So good move. And 17 is the interesting one this week. Jake Arthur no longer on the bench, replaced by Nathan Brown. So I didn't see the New South Wales Cup game on the weekend. I'm not sure. From all reports, Brownie just got some miles into his legs. So he's just such a great player. You don't leave him out of the team for too long, do you? He's just such a great player. I mean,
you can't. He's aggressive and he's a leader. He's. I think we were missing him last week. Honestly, I think he would have been great in that stint. I think he would have got up in the faces of Tino and up in the faces of Fafita and all those boys. And I think he'll be good to get him back. But I think this game maybe will be more of getting more miles in his leg against first grade.
Now, as long as BA puts him on to get miles in his legs, like there's no point putting him on the bench and only playing him for 5 minutes. You got to play him for 30. You've got to get the miles in his legs. So, we've got some big games. We've got Melbourne coming up, don't we? I think is that next week?
I don't think we should even be looking past the Sharks because they should have beat Canberra last week.
No, I'm worried about the Sharks. I mean, it's at Shark Park as well. And I think Nico is really going to be looking to kick in. I think Nico had a great game at halfback. It is a specialty position, as we're saying. So he's very much learning the position. And he's going to be looking to impress at his home ground. And Craig Fitzgibbon wasn't even at the game because of COVID. So he didn't even get to talk to the game. He didn't even get to talk to the team at halftime, apparently. So, and the Sharkies still played pretty well. So look for them to come out swinging. If they get a jump on us, we could be in trouble. So we really need to stamp our authority on them quick. Yeah.
I agree because they're so dangerous. Like you've got Toby Rudolph, you've got Fafita if he's going to play.
They've got Dale Finucane. Dale Finucane is playing this week. Yeah, so he's going to.
That's scary.
That is scary. He adds kind of a workload. Like he leads by example, I guess is what I'm trying to say. He gets in there and he trains the house down, as everyone knows. He's just an absolute animal. So yeah, they're a good team. They're a good team. We can't take this lightly.
And you've got Moylan as well. He's an experienced campaigner. And yeah, Nico Hines is an absolute game breaker.
Yeah.
He's still learning what it's like to be a specialist halfback in the NRL. He was a 5'8" when he played here for the Cutters for a few years. He was even talented back then. So to see him make the jump to first grade, along with Braden Hamlin-Uele, who
are you talking about? Sorry, who was playing for the Cutters?
Nico Hines.
Was he?
Played for the Cutters. Yeah, he was our 5'8" for.
You get a lot of good players coming out of Mackay, mate. I tell you.
Yeah, and Braden Hamlin-Uele played for us the same year. They're our teammates at Cronulla Sharks, so they know each other's game.
Yeah. Okay.
So
just looking at their team, I'm a big fan of Toby Rudolph. I think he's a brilliant player. He's just going to keep getting better. Matt Moylan, he's rocks and diamonds. He can go either way, can't he? I mean, he can just have the absolute shocker, but he can tear you apart. Yeah. And Jesse Ramian, and I don't know, they've got a lot of underrated players, I guess. Blake Brayley and Britton Nakoro. Yeah.
There's so many just dangerous, like understated players on that team.
Yeah.
And then, the ones that stand out, like a Nico Hines, like a Matt Moylan. If Matt Moylan has an on game and Nico Hines has an on game, we're in trouble.
100% we are. So our reserves, we got Mitch Rain. Now, apparently he had a brilliant game as well in New South Wales Cup. Apparently he stepped up and led the team around by the scruff of the neck. It's exactly what I want to be seeing, because if Reid goes down, we need him to be firing on all cylinders to just slip in there, because as we saw at the end of last year, we only really lost the game because Reid was gone. I think we've said a couple of times, if we had Reid, we win the grand final last year. Mitch Rain is at 19, and as we were saying, he had a brilliant game for New South Wales Cup. We need him to be firing on all cylinders so that if Reid does go down at any stage during the year, he can just slot into that team specialty position, as we're saying. Not only that, he's going to have Mick Ennis there helping him as well. I think his game might go to a next level, having Mick there helping him.
Yeah, I think he needs to. I mean, he's going to be serviceable. He's not as dynamic as Reid, but he's more of a specialist hooker than having a Ray Stone or a. Yeah. We had a Joey Lussick last year, but at least
Joey was good.
An out and out. He was. And at least we have an out and out backup, full-time, experienced dummy half.
Yes.
If Reid does go down.
Yes. So 18 is Jake Arthur. He's put onto the reserves. So I guess that makes him our development player. That's it. 18 is the COVID position, isn't it? So I don't know why he's gone 19, 18.
That's the injury reserve. If we lose 3 players to concussion, he can come in.
But Jake is going to be playing New South Wales Cup, isn't he? I think he's been named. Like, he needs to get experience playing New South Wales Cup, so he needs to keep going. Kai Rodwell, 20. Apparently he had a killer as well. So, he's one of my favourites at the moment coming on. So
you're on his.
I am on board. There's something about him. He's got a little bit of mongrel to him. He hits hard. He's got a big heart. I'm looking forward to him getting a shot at some stage during the year. Well, maybe not, because that means that one of our forwards is out injured. We do need to mention, actually, one of our forwards is out injured. Murata. Murata's out injured. So Murata was due to come back this week. He's done a calf, apparently. So they're a bit concerned about him, about how long this calf is going to be going to keep him out of the game for. But Murata is a massive impact player for us. That's a big loss.
Yeah, Murata's huge. And I think if Murata plays, my boy Cartwright's not there in that team. But
I don't know. I think Nathan Brown might have missed out. I do think we need a utility player like Bryce Cartwright. So it would have been interesting.
I wouldn't think Nathan Brown would be the type of player you keep in Cotton Wall, but BA seems like really tempting. I know how important he is, considering he played the finals last year with his ankle hurt.
Yeah.
To have him at full strength going into the finals this year, fingers crossed, would be big.
Yeah.
I guess.
And then we go to Hayes Perham. I'm a massive fan of him. He's at 21 in the reserves. Wiremu Greg, massive fan. I'm loving our reserves this year. I think we've got such great depth. And
I love the depth we have, yes.
And then we've got Solomon, Naduki, and Samuel Loizu. I don't know how to say that one. Loizu. Hello. Loizu. Apologies. So that's the team list Tuesday, mate. Well, I'm pretty happy. I'm excited by this team. I think we've got a strong team. There's no notable weaknesses throughout it. Wonga on the wing is going to be interesting. I don't see that as a weakness, though, because if the delivery was similar to the way Sean was set up, then I think Wonga can finish those tries as well. I don't think that Wonga would have stuffed up any of those tries that Sean's scored. Not taking anything away from Sean Russell. Once again, 3 tries. How many games? He's only played like 5 games for us or something, is it? Again, he's just scoring all these tries.
Yeah, I mean, imagine. No, was that his? That wasn't his debut, was it? Had he played for us before?
Yeah, he played last year. He scored 2 on debut.
Okay.
Yeah. Or was it the year before? COVID's getting mixing me up all over the place. It might have been at the end of 2020 that he debuted. Did he sit out last year? I don't know. I can't remember. But I know that he scored 2 in debut. Yeah.
Sean Russell's like a lanky sort of player, and Wong is very much a power player. So he can get down in those like body contact tries.
Yeah.
He'll be able to muscle over a sliding defense a bit more than maybe Sean could have. But I'm excited to see him out there. I hope Bailey Simonson also gets
Bailey needs to step up.
That he's ready.
Yeah. So maybe it's 5 tries. Maybe it's 5 tries, not 5 games. Maybe it's because I know he definitely scored the 2 in debut and he scored 3 on the weekend. So that's the 5 tries. So I remember seeing 5 somewhere. So apologies for that. We'll look into that and find out exactly the stats. I don't know when he's coming back. Happy with the team. Happy that Dillbags and Moses are going to be. They're going to play where they're supposed to play. I mean, don't shuffle the team around like that. If someone goes down, I don't know what happened last weekend, mate.
Yeah, no, a bit of a loss to it, mate. But and I don't think we can afford to do something like that against the Sharks.
Agreed. Yeah, the sliding defense needs to be on point as well. So hopefully we fix that. A lot to see. The game is Saturday night. It's a 5:30 game, I believe, at Shark Park. It's called, what's it, Point Bet Stadium or something, or Bet Point Stadium. Something like that, Shark Park.
One of the gambling websites that own every stadium in the NRL now.
Yeah. And the women's team playing the Roosters this week, that's going to be a great game as well. And that's on Sunday at midday. And I'm really enjoying those games. I'm going to be disappointed when the women's season is over. As I was saying, you're coming down from Mackay for the St. George game. And so if the women keep winning, they might be playing the semi-final the weekend that you're down. So we'll have to go to that as well. We'll go see fingers crossed. Yeah, the girls get into the semi-finals that weekend. And we get to go and see that because geez, they're a team you can support, aren't they? They're such a team you can support the way they play.
Easily. How good was the win against the Titans on the weekend? They were great.
Yeah. A mate of ours, Odie, I saw him posting as well, going, he's a Manly supporter. And he was saying, where's our team? Like he's on board. He's just waiting for the Manly women's team. How good would that be? Parra versus Manly in the women's.
Well, it's coming because they announced today that they're expanding the women's comp to 10 teams by 2024. That's
awesome.
Yeah. How good is it that there's just a rocket under that competition now?
Yep, 100%. We can support that. And the women had a brilliant win as well. They show a lot of heart. I think I like the way they play. So we'll be checking them out on Sunday. as well, the men on the Saturday, and that is Team List Tuesday for another week, mate. We'll be back next week. Fingers crossed we get the points this weekend. And we're talking about how great the team played.
Yeah, fingers crossed, mate. I think it's going to be another nerve-wracking experience. I mean, it always is. It always.
How bad is the heart watching these games, man? You're just watching it the whole time. You're just like, oh, why? I forgot about this. I forgot about the bloody pains. It's horrible.
Parra in a close one, mate. Parra in a close one.
Yeah, see how we go. All right, brother. We'll catch up with you next week. Have a good one.
Talk to you soon, mate.